For number 33 from 12.2, we've got the sine of theta equals u, and you're asked to find the other 5 trigonomic functions. And then you're given that u is acute, which, remember, if u is acute, when we put it on a coordinate grid, or theta is acute, sorry, then you know that theta is the angle is going to be in the first quadrant. That's where the acute angles are. And then if we have u, we can think about that as u over 1, which is helpful, because we learned that sine of theta is equal to y over r. And so we let the y coordinate of this point right here that it goes through be u, which means this height is u. And then the r value is just going to be 1. And so to find the rest of these, we need to know what is the x coordinate, because all of the functions are in terms of x, y, and r. We know what y is, it's u. We know what r is, it's 1. So we need to find this. Well, we just used the Pythagorean theorem. And so we let this be x. And so we say x squared plus u squared equals 1. So u squared equals 1 minus, or x squared equals 1 minus u squared. And then when we take the square root of both sides, we get x, and we'd say the plus or minus 1 minus x squared, but we don't need to put the minus because we know we're in the first quadrant, so it just turns out to be the square root of 1 minus u squared. Sorry, this should be a u, subtracting u squared here. I'm sure that was confusing. So you got that the x coordinate turns out to be the square root of 1 minus u squared. So now we go through and find the rest of them. Cosine theta, remember that is x over r, and so it's just going to be 1 minus u squared. Tangent of theta is going to be y over x, and so it's either going to be u over this, or if you rationalize it, then that's going to be the same as u times 1 minus u squared over 1 minus u squared, the square root of 1 minus u squared over 1 minus u squared. And then we do the reciprocals of all these, and so the cosecant of theta is the reciprocal of this, and so it's just 1 over u. The secant of theta is just the reciprocal of this, which means it's going to be 1 over 1 minus u squared, which is the same as 1 minus u squared, the square root of 1 minus u squared over 1 minus u squared when you rationalize. And then the cotangent is just the reciprocal of this one, of tangent, and so it's just going to turn out to be square root of 1 minus u squared over u. And this just shows if you know any of the values of a trig function, you can find the rest of the values. In this case, we did it in terms of u, but we could do it in terms of any. And we could always, the easiest way usually to do this is to let the r value be 1. Even if u is a fraction or something, then we would let the r value be 1.